saw traditional and religious leaders, traditional healers, people with disabilities, and more than 20,000 MK party supporters and members in attendance. The program in Gauteng was a resounding success, and we extend our gratitude and thankfulness to members of the National High Command, to the Treasurer General, the Deputy National Chairperson, the DSG, the Deputy President, members of Parliament, interfaith organizations, and most notably the President, Commander General Jacob Getlefikisa Zuma, for gracing the program and addressing it in Gauteng province. In Mpumalanga province, we had the MK's first anniversary mini rally celebrations on the 1st of December 2024 in Mandla Makutulela Stadium, uMKHONTO sub-region, in the Hertsebande region in Mpumalanga. The Provincial Working Committee, members of the National High Command, the Deputy National Chairperson and the National Organizer, the Provincial Convener and Coordinator were joined by more than 5,000 supporters of uMKHONTO weSIZWE to celebrate the first anniversary of uMKHONTO weSIZWE in Mpumalanga. We want to extend our gratitude and thankfulness to the National Organizer, Commander June Lela, who presented and represented us well in delivering the keynote address in the Mpumalanga program. And in KwaZulu-Natal province, the launch of our celebratory program was on the 1st of December as well, in Kwanwe, the uMKHONTO Sports Ground in Mandeni sub-region, in Ilembe region. The program was attended by members of the Provincial Working Committee and led by the Provincial Convener, Commander Willis Mchunu, members of the National High Command. And the program was addressed by our National Chairperson, Commander Nkosinathi Nhleko. And the rally in Ilembe, in Mandeni, was attended by more than 10,000 people. We take this opportunity to report that as part of this celebratory program, uMKHONTO weSIZWE Party is involved in a lot of other activities in all the provinces. There have been so many different people's meetings and engagements in different parts of South Africa. And we want to take this opportunity to report that our President led a delegation which included the Secretary General and the DSG to visit the annual Thanksgiving Day of the 12 Apostles Church in Christ on the 1st of December in Bloemfontein in the Free State province. We extend our appreciation to all members of the 12 Apostles Church in Christ and Chief Apostle Dr. Caesar Nonmunga for the hospitality and for accepting our invitation to attend the first anniversary activities and program on the 15th and 16th of December 2024. On Saturday, the 7th of December 2024, President Jacob Zuma led a delegation which included the Secretary General, the DSG, and the National Chair to visit Ibandla Lama Nazareth, which is the Nazareth Baptist Church under the capable leadership of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. And President Jacob Zuma also held very strategic meetings and engagements with important royal leadership in South Africa. All these activities constitute the core political and liberation program of uMKHONTO weSIZWE, which fully recognizes the role of royal, traditional, and religious leadership in South Africa. Our constitution, the constitution of uMKHONTO weSIZWE, commits to the recognition of royal, traditional, and religious leadership in society as a whole. All provinces, as we have emphasized, held different programs at branch, VD, sub-regional, and regional levels. And what is worth noting of all these programs is the people's meeting that took place on Saturday, the 7th of December in Khayelitsha, in Cape Town. And what is worth noting as well is the handover of 2 houses by the King Tetwayo region of uMKHONTO weSIZWE to destitute families in the region. We take this opportunity to update the people of South Africa about the activities and programs of the upcoming weekend, which the Sunday will be the 15th of December and the Monday will be the 16th of December. We can confirm that uMkhonto weSizwe is more than ready to host a successful People's Rally on Sunday, the 15th of December 2024, here in Moses Mabhida Stadium. That the venue has been confirmed, fully paid, and all areas of compliance have been fulfilled 100% in terms of what is expected to happen. And we have secured transportation, which are buses and taxis for all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal, for all the 44 municipalities of KwaZulu-Natal. So we'll be transporting people from Mkhanyakude, from Zululand, from Ugu, from Tukela, from Amajuba, from Zinyati, from Gungundlovu, from all the regions, from eThekwini, in all the zones, the 16 zones of eThekwini, we're going to be taking people to, they're going to be bringing people to Moses Mabhida from Ilembe, from King Tetwai, from all the regions and all the municipalities. We're going to be bringing the people. And we want to state that we are not going to provide transport for members and supporters of uMkhonto weSizwe from other provinces other than the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The capacity of the stadium and the logistical arrangements and preparedness that we've put in place will not be adequate to host the entire country for the first anniversary celebrations. It is not practically possible to accommodate all provinces. So it is not because of incompetence or the recklessness of the provincial leadership structures or MPLs that we are not bringing people to Moses Mabhida from other provinces. We have made arrangements strictly for the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and those who voluntarily and at their own cost can come are allowed to do so, but we have not made a special transport arrangement for other provinces, from other provinces to come to attend the rally. And we wish to also confirm that additional to the buses and taxis that have been hired for the People's Rally that is taking place on Sunday, the 15th, we have already spoken to PRASA to provide us with trains. So the train lines that come from KwaMashu, from Umlazi, and from Cato Ridge, we're going to be providing trains which will be used for free by those who are going to ride the trains. The good thing is that we have got a train station just here in Moses Mabhida Stadium. So they will safely take people from all the train stations that come from the line of Umlazi, mostly in the Bridge City area, and then Cato Ridge and KwaMashu, to then come, and then they'll be safely taken back home when the rally has been concluded. The gates of the rally will be in the stadium, will be opened at 7 o'clock in the morning. An entertainment program is going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to have an hour long of interfaith prayers by the religious community, because we've got a substantial religious community in uMkhonto weSizwe. So prior to the commencement of the official program, we're going to have an hour long interfaith program from 11 o'clock until 12 o'clock. And then the official program will start, presided by the national chairperson, at 12 o'clock. And then the provincial convener will welcome everyone to the event. Messages of support, messages from the fraternal and internal organizations, and then address by our president on the activities and the program political agenda of uMkhonto weSizwe. On the 16th of December, which is the Monday, uMkhonto weSizwe Party will hold a gala dinner at the Olive Convention Center. And the tables for the gala dinner are still available for those that want to participate in the gala dinner. The contact details for those who seek to attend the gala dinner and also want to use the hospitality suites here at the stadium are provided is packages at mkpevents.co.za, and the number that is provided for those who want to contact is 081-887-3497. We also want to announce publicly, because there was proper and no clear information provided before, that those who want to still apply for vending purposes, like basically to sell regalia or food in line with the necessary regulation and in compliance with what is required, should still contact the leadership of uMKHONTO weSIZWE here in the region of eThekwini. We have assigned Commander Bongani Mcele, who is the regional organizer of eThekwini, to be responsible for all the vending activities that are going to take place. And his number, those who want to contact him, will be 065-892-7305. So Bongani Mcele, the organizer of eThekwini, will be responsible for making sure that those who want to have economic value, economic benefits out of the event are allowed proper and properly regulated space to do their work. And then the regions in eThekwini that and sub-regions that want to confirm their pickup points outside of eThekwini, we have assigned Ntando Mkize to be the one who is going to be responsible for the coordination of transport outside of eThekwini, which will be with the number of 064-503-2475. And for all the transportation of eThekwini supporters and ground forces, we've got Commander Tulas Mkize, who is reachable on 078-101-0546. And so all the ground forces of eThekwini, if there is frustration about delayed buses, that will be the number that will be available 24/7 to make sure that everyone else safely comes into the rally. And the meeting which we just came from now, which is the Event Safety and Security Planning Committee for the MKP's first anniversary rally, has mandated us to publicly communicate the following. Number one is that no firearms and dangerous weapons will be permitted in the precincts of the stadium and the rally. And number two, that traditional weapons will only be permitted and approved for Amabuto because an official application and approval were made in regard to permitting Amabuto to carry traditional weapons. And they will be moving in a clearly defined route, which will end up on the pitch of the stadium. And number three is that there will not be distribution and sale of alcohol in the event itself. It's an alcohol-free event in the manner in which it has been approved. And that those who are going to be transporting themselves are encouraged to use the 10 tiles in the south of the stadium, because those who are going to come through the publicly funded transport of uMKHONTO weSIZWE are going to utilize the north 10 tiles of the stadium. So there will be clear directions from all the entrance points as to where the south 10 tiles are. And that those who are going to utilize photographic drones should necessarily get a permission from the stadium and from the SAPS, so that the photographic drones are not mistaken for something else. So they have to be permission for whatever photographic drone that is going to be utilized on the day of the event. uMKHONTO weSIZWE is demonstrating to the people of South Africa that despite the electoral fraud, which robbed us of our votes, were a solid, sound, and law-abiding organization, which will exhaust all permissible legal instruments to fight its battles. The Secretariat of uMKHONTO weSIZWE will soon communicate the program of action and calendar for 2025 which will begin on the 6th of January 2025. The program for 2025 will include the official opening of the head office of uMKHONTO weSIZWE in both Johannesburg and here in Durban. So there are, of course, two wings of the head office, being in Johannesburg and here in Durban. And the program for 2025 will include the full establishment of voting district, ward, sub-regional, regional, and provincial structures, and of course, provincial and regional offices of uMKHONTO weSIZWE in the length and breadth of South Africa. The program for 2025 will also include the organic and public launches of uMKHONTO weSIZWE Women's League, uMKHONTO weSIZWE Youth League, and uMKHONTO weSIZWE Students Movement. The program for 2025 will also include a week-long policy conference to consolidate our policy positions and agenda for change and radical economic transformation. And our program for 2025 will include the systematic and systemic revealing to the people of South Africa on how elections were rigged against uMKHONTO weSIZWE Party. uMKHONTO weSIZWE Party remains a disciplined liberation movement fighting for total emancipation and freedom. We remain opposed to the so-called government of national unity and stand opposed to any form of cooperation with the white minority racist agenda. The values and principles of uMKHONTO weSIZWE remain the following: Ubuntu, unity in action, Pan-Africanism, patriotism and equality, honesty and respect, which emphasizes that we must tell no lies and claim no easy victories, democratic centralism, mandates, accountability and reporting, organic forms of public representation, discipline and hard work, knowledgeability and meritocracy, class consciousness. uMKHONTO weSIZWE Party is opposed to colonialism, neocolonialism, neoliberalism, racism, sexism, and all unjust laws and systems and practices that seek to demonize black people and Africans in South Africa and the entire world. uMKHONTO weSIZWE is founded on the fundamental philosophy that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressed is their unity in action. We're a movement that is still fighting for the unification of all progressive forces in South Africa, and the first anniversary celebrations will be demonstration of the decisive move of unification of all the progressive forces and voices in South Africa. Thank you very much. Spokesperson.
Thank you very much, SG. I think let's open it up to questions, whether it's clarity-seeking questions or questions that you feel, based on a statement, certain elements were not covered. So with a raise of hands, could I then identify? And then, please, when you ask the question, you just tell us who you are. And I think we have a roving mic here. That'll be a second question. First, we'll take 5. It'll go. That's the third one. Is there anyone else? Fourth? Last? Fifth? Okay, thanks. The members, the leadership seated here will respond, but I think most of the questions, as would be the case, will be addressed by the SG. Please, if you may. The mic. Can you just get a mic? There's the mic there.
Paddy Harper, Mail and Guardian. Perhaps 2 issues. With regards to the Unity Building Program, which other kind of parties associated with the Progressive Caucus in Parliament would be attending, and in particular as the EFF and parties that will attend? And then secondly, with the program of organization building, by what point do you believe that you would have the spread of branches, structures from BD upwards. What one understands you've set down 2025, but what sort of target have you set yourselves for rolling out that process nationwide? Thank you.
Question number 2, it's behind you.
Thank you. My name is Begin Dawara from Ilanga newspaper. I've noted that you are saying you'll be busing people from all corners of KZN. So specifically in terms of numbers, how many people are expected to flow down the city to attend? Also, regarding the gala dinner, how is it going in terms of ticket sales? How many tickets have been sold so far? Thank you.
Hi, greetings everyone. Sibingelele Kamalam Bulondi Wengo Song. I come from Imbodo 96.8 FM, the community radio station. Umbuzo wami ngicabanga ukuthi simple and straightforward. Is SG ekhuluma ngokuthi people that will be catered in transport, or rather free transport for people from the KZN region. Now the question is, the following anniversary, are we seeing it rotating to other provinces, or is it just going to be KZN thing all the years that are coming? Thank you so much.
Fernanda, I think there's a fifth one.
From EMCA, you say next year, you will present your evidence to the people of South Africa about the alleged electoral fraud. Does it mean next year you will revive your case that you withdrew on the basis that you wanted to go and collect more information and evidence? And why next year? Why not present it during the rally? Because number two, on the gala dinner, just for clarity, I want to understand the logic behind having it on Monday after the rally. Usually many people, I know you are your own organization, you do things differently, but why do it on Monday, not on Friday or Saturday before the rally? Is there any reason why you opted for that? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was the last one. SG. Chair.
No, thank you very much for the questions. The response to the first question is that we have extended the invitation to all the parties in the Progressive Caucus. So we're extending the invitation to the Economic Freedom Fighters, to the African Transformation Movement, which is the ATM, to the National Colors Congress, and then to the African Unity Congress, which is part of the Progressive Caucus. And when they come, we will give them an opportunity to give message of support in the first anniversary of uMKHONTO weSIZWE, because these are our strategic friends in terms of the agenda that we're in pursuit of in the immediate. We know, as a matter of fact, because we had direct interaction with the leadership of the ATM, that the ATM has definitely confirmed attendance through its entire leadership that is going to come. Not only the leadership of ATM is going to attend, they've also encouraged their members to come and attend the first anniversary of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. So this is a uniting movement, to the extent that a different political organization even has an elaborate transport plan to transport their members to celebrate the first anniversary of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. The other question is by when are we going to have a nationwide coverage of branches of uMKHONTO weSIZWE? So, in the manner that it is now, we are of a firm observation and view that a substantial number of people in South Africa are already mobilized behind the vision and banner of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. What is to be done now is to organize them into VD-based structures, ward-based branches, and sub-regional structures, regional structures of uMkhonto weSIZWE. We can say without any fear of doubt and contradiction that there is not a single VD in the entirety of South Africa where there are no people who are interested in participating actively in uMkhonto weSIZWE. So from an aerial mobilization point of view, we have achieved a lot of people, and we know that because from time to time there's inquiries of where do we gain access to uMkhonto weSIZWE, but also the map of the recent online application for membership have got a proper balance in terms of geographic spread and balance in all parts of South Africa. So what we as the collective of the leadership are going to be doing is to now organize the already mobilized people who are beginning to see the vision and an agenda and political program of uMkhonto weSIZWE. And when we do that much more efficiently and responsibly, we can be able to give an account of leadership structures in all the 23,219 VDs of South Africa having leadership structures before the beginning of second half of 2025. Then that would be a machinery bold enough to contest local government elections in all the 4,364 wards if the demarcation does not change or reduce the number of wards. But we are going to field candidates for 2026 in all the wards of South Africa. And we will be having representatives in each and every VD because there is widened and far much deeper interest in the politics of uMkhonto weSIZWE. And there's a high possibility, which I'm sure we'll see when and it happens, that some of the political parties are going to unify with uMkhonto weSIZWE. And that will be communicated when the time is opportune and it has been finalized. So major engagements are taking place as to just how do we integrate, how do we constitute a one political movement. If you listen to President Zuma and all the addresses that he gave in different platforms in the recent past, everywhere he has spoken, he said that we as the progressive forces, as the oppressed people, let's constitute a platform where we must vote together so that we can achieve the political power which can be utilized for thoroughgoing, radical economic, social, cultural transformation and emancipation of our people. So that is the agenda that we're in pursuit of. And it will be demonstrated practically in 2025 and towards 2026 local government elections. And of course, so when we did the press conference to announce the activities and programs of the first anniversary, we did explain the reasoning as to the host areas for the programs for 2024, for the first anniversary. We chose uMkhonto municipality in Mpumalanga because uMkhonto weSIZWE received 55% of the vote, if not more. We chose Mandeni representing 11 because overall the district of 11, if the 29 May 2024 elections were local government elections, uMkhonto weSIZWE will have recorded an outright victory in 11 districts. And we chose Ekurhuleni because of the 5 regions of Gauteng. Ekurhuleni had the highest percentage of people who voted for uMkhonto weSIZWE. And then we chose the province of KwaZulu-Natal because without any iota of doubt, KwaZulu-Natal remains the backbone of uMkhonto weSIZWE in terms of the proven electoral support. And of course, we are building from a firm foundation of KwaZulu-Natal to expand similar presence, if not even stronger, in all other parts of South Africa. And logically, when a decision is taken over where else do we have the second anniversary or the third anniversary of uMkhonto weSIZWE, is most likely going to be any other province than KwaZulu-Natal, because KwaZulu-Natal has had the opportunity to host a very important first anniversary program of our organization. So the consideration of the upcoming programs will be other provinces. It might be in the Eastern Cape, it might be in Limpopo, it might be in Gauteng, it might be the Free State or Northwest, wherever that is going to happen. Now the case of electoral fraud is ready, and cases are not presented in rallies. Cases are presented in courts of law. And in terms of the massive evidence that has been presented to the leadership, we are more than confident that when that is brought before a balanced, free, transparent, and open court of law, there will be a clear illustration that there was electoral fraud which was targeted on uMKHONTO weSIZWE. It was targeted on trying to dwindle and substitute the votes which otherwise uMKHONTO weSIZWE should have received in the 2024 elections. And that will be demonstrated in an open court of law by the legal representatives who have been assigned to perform such a function. Now, we have purposefully divorced from the culture of other political organizations of holding a gala dinner before the rally, because gala dinners by their very nature, they finish after midnight. So if you have got an important program which will need your energy the next day, it's not advisable that you have a program the day before which exhausts you until after midnight. So if we have a gala dinner on a Friday or Saturday, it's definitely we're going to pass the midnight period, whether it's the speeches and the interactions and everything else, and then you still expect the same people to go and address a rally the next day. So we then took it differently, that let's attend the rally fresh, the entire leadership fresh, interact with our people, and then the rally is done around 5, 6 in the evening. We've got the whole night to rest, we've got the second day to rest as well. And then the gala dinner is held in the evening of Monday, when the leadership is again fresh to address a full fresh program, and can easily even cross over the midnight button, type that they don't have any other obligations organizationally the day after. So the logic that we got to apply in terms of the programming said that there was no advisability, none whatsoever, to hold a gala dinner a day before, because that was going to exhaust us in terms of what is happening. And there are, of course, people who have made commitments to buy the tables which are on offer. Platinum table, where the president will be sitting, is priced at 2 million rand. And there's an offer, a firm offer, which is not going to be turned back of someone who has said they're going to purchase that table to support uMKHONTO weSIZWE. And there's many other offers that are coming as well for the other tables that are on offer for the leadership. But of course, we still open for those who want to participate in the gala dinner of the soon-to-be government of this province, if not the whole of South Africa, uMKHONTO weSIZWE Party. Thank you very much, National Spokesperson.
Thank you, SG. That was a comprehensive response to the questions. And let's see if we have any other questions. Yes, we do. One. Amanda again with the dramatic questions. Third question. Okay. Third question from Million Dragon. Fourth, WN.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Minoshi Pillay, SABC News. The party has come out quite strongly in stating that it will reveal more information and, around the allegations of electoral fraud related to May's elections next year. However, will this not also implicate, and I say this respectfully, senior members of the party that have switched over from other parties, and perhaps including yourself as well, respectfully. So, thank you.
Usipho Mandlakoke from ENCA again. In your program of action for 2025, you highlight a list of things that you will do. You touched on it briefly, the issue of local government elections in 2026, but I did not get a sense that that is one of your priorities, the campaign for local government elections. Are you leaving it for till late? You want to build the structures first and deal with other things, go to your policy conference and then launch your campaign for local government elections in 2026? You say you will soon be the government of this province. How and when do you plan to take power? Who are you talking to?
Again from Mail and Guardian. You've had some setbacks at a court level with regards to challenges from members who were removed from positions. How's the process going to be dealt with going forward? And one understands that last week in the court case against the IEC, that there has been a supplementary affidavit submitted by Mr. Deco, etc. Have you got a date yet for the court case? Yeah, thank you.
Sure, it's Tlanduwas from my business. I heard the SG mentioning the parties that were invited, which are part of the Progressive Caucus. Now, I'm looking at the fact that during the last briefing you had mentioned that come April next year you'll be running the provincial government with the Progressive Caucus. Now, I'm looking at the fact that the parties that were mentioned being invited here, none of them have the numbers who can actually balance the MK party to run the provincial government. So I think my question in line is in line with this Pamanda's one as to who outside of these invited parties are you talking to in the provincial legislature of KwaZulu-Natal to constitute a government? Mr. Shibabu, the 2026 local municipality elections are expected to be one of the hotly contested ones, especially in this province, with these 54 municipalities being divided among two different political parties, being the ANC and the IFP. Are there municipalities that when you look at, and please mention them by name, that the MK party will be running come 2026? Thank you.
SG siphinde sibingelele futhi bengisacela ukuqambukela nje kumbuzo wama spaza shops. eMK, as we all know, ukuthi it sort of prioritizes kakhulu KwaZulu-Natal, but we haven't seen eMK being active when it comes to the issue yama spaza shops, and our kids there are dying in our community. As a community journalist, we see these things every day. Asikaze sibone eMK ihambela indawo zasemakhaya ikakhulukazi ihamba ilungisa le ndaba yabantwana ababulawa ukudla okubolile ema-spaza shops. Thank you so much.
I think this allows the chairperson to respond to a question as raised pertaining to the IEC.
Yeah, we're both breaking news, yes. Learn from a gentleman with I mean, I've had seen a journalist through the time on. Nevertheless, I've not run to interview with you. Your freedom of yeah. No, let me deal with a few things. I think firstly the question of the legal case. There's a lot that went wrong. There's certainly a lot that went wrong. We may choose to ignore certain things because we want to. But we decided that we're not going to ignore those particular things. Some of the things were just glaring kind of evidential material in terms of how misadministered the past elections were, for an example. Be it from the transportation of your ballot boxes, ballot papers, and everything else, those things kept on coming up. But largely, I think people decided to ignore things such as that. But there have been ongoing sort of anomalies. For instance, in South Africa, this thing doesn't make sense. A party that cannot attract 5,000 people to a rally, that party is number 2 in the governance structure of South Africa. It's impossible. MCing, for an example, you would have what's this party, the Patriotic Alliance. It's impossible that people doesn't would vote to Patriotic Alliance. The other parties were good party. It also had votes. MCing, I mean, one was a good party. MCing, out of all places, right? Now, and you can clearly see that those were acts of manipulation in terms of votes that had to be allocated to other parties other than MK. The fact of the matter is that we became a threat to everybody. And therefore people had to scamper around to do all these sorts of things. Now, the difficulty, of course, with talking about a legal case is the mere fact that it is a legal case. We present our matters in court, and we are quite confident that we will certainly break through in all the identified sort of anomalies in the election. So I think that was the one part of it. I'm not sure whether I understood, for an example, the question from the lady here in front about people that could be implicated. In the work that we've done, in the analysis that we've done, for an example, with regards to the IEC matter, we had to look into the overall system, for an example. The system that the IEC is using, we had to go into it and analyze it. And maybe all under broader sort of systemic issues as well. So, and I don't remember a case where any other political party is implicated and or a particular individual from a political party who now happens to be part of MK. So so unless I misunderstood you really, but I have not picked up anything of that sort. So I would advise, ladies and gentlemen, that perhaps, given the complexities and difficulties when it comes to legal matters, for an example, that we respect that particular process. So now the last question about when and how. When and how, by the way, I will answer also your question. When and how will we take over? We also prefer not to talk about that. Whom are we talking to? We will also prefer not to talk about that. It's better for you, Mr. Goff, to see that and witness that as it unfolds. Largely because, not because we don't want to talk about things of this nature, but we must also respect processes, confidential processes, processes that we are not at liberty to even declare to our own selves and so on. Things that we would also be engaged with and in towards a particular sort of points of results. So I would counsel to them say, let's leave it at that. Shouldn't get much into that. There was a point about, I think your earlier question, when I commented was, would we see a circulation or rotation at some point? of activities such as this. It's possible, let me put it that way. You know, we don't have a firm sort of, you know, policy position that says we shall always have it here. You know, circulation is quite possible in the same way that the manifesto lodge, for instance, we had it in Gauteng. So we continue to assess our material circumstance from time to time as an organization and decide, of course, in terms of how we hold certain activities and where we hold those particular activities. So I think we're good for now. You are invited on the 15th.
So bye.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you very much. I think the chair, the national chair, has dealt with the questions on the electoral fraud much more comprehensively. And of course, there's no attempt to want to reveal the details of the evidence that we have here. But the pattern that is appearing is that you have got political parties that were given free votes which they were not supposed to get in certain VDs here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal at the expense of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. And the manner in which those who did so did it, they forgot to shift the votes in all the ballots, because there were 3 ballots for these elections. So you find that in ballot 1, uMKHONTO weSIZWE has got 8,000 votes, but in ballot 2 has got less than 20 votes. So that is the pattern that characterized the electoral fraud that we're talking about. And that was not committed by, we don't think by political parties. It was done by those who were mandated to do so, the electoral staff and everything else. And that will be revealed when we go to court. So the question of SABC, I think, reflects a relatively less understanding of the context of how we're lodging the case. But I'm sure when we then go to court, it will illuminate everyone's view so that we all are at once. So it's not a frivolous case. It's not a playful case where uMKHONTO weSIZWE is refusing to accept the election results. It's a genuine case. Those of you who can still gain access to the results, you can try to assess all the VDs. All the 4,971 VDs of KwaZulu-Natal, go and read the VD results and assess all the 3 ballots and explain how is it possible that on the 3 ballots you get 8,000 this side and on the other ballot you get less than 20 votes. It doesn't make sense. And it was a deliberate attempt to particularly sabotage uMKHONTO weSIZWE having an outright majority and victory in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is going to be reversed through a proper scientific and correct illustration of the numbers that were stolen from uMKHONTO weSIZWE. So that is the essence of how such is going to be handled. So you know, uMKHONTO weSIZWE is a campaigning organization. We're campaigning every day. We're busy every day. So everything else that we do is part of confidence building exercises and programs. So it's not only a 2025 program. Even now, we're preparing for 2026 now. We're preparing for 2029 now. Everything else that we do every day, our engagements with different sectors, the sectoral meetings that we have and engagements, is part of illustrating to society that we constitute a superior alternative in the politics of South Africa. That is what uMKHONTO weSIZWE is, a liberation movement that seeks to unite all the progressive black voices and black forces, progressive forces. So President Zuma always says that finally to take over political power, because we've been subdivided by the colonial masters and their descendants. That is why they are very quick to fund splinter groups and small parties that are not viable, that cannot win elections. And they try to banish and demonize progressive forces, which, if we're to consolidate, we're going to have a decisive majority in the politics of South Africa. And that is the politics that we are in a pursuit of. The spaza shops, the regions and the provinces of uMkhonto weSIZWE have been involved far much more substantial in the protest actions. I know here in eThekwini, the Women's League and Women's Formations of uMkhonto weSIZWE were involved in the Youth League and in Ilembe, in many parts of South Africa, on targeted campaign of even vetting the spaza shops to say, where do you get the food from? Who is your manufacturer? Who is your FMCG in terms of supplies of the products which are being sold in each and every spaza shop? So practical action has been engaged. And you know the sort of mistake which most part of media do, they ignore the work of uMkhonto weSIZWE, and then when results come out later, they will say, we're surprised. But uMkhonto weSIZWE is on the ground, has been raising the issue of spaza shops. But also, our representatives in Parliament, in the necessary committees, have been raising the issues of the spaza shops. We've issued public statement to state our position, which includes assembling a legal team to lodge a class action on behalf of the organization, on behalf of the people who have been affected negatively by these reckless management of the spaza shops, which led to deaths of so many people. So that is one of the issues that we then deal with. So there's a question of which municipalities are we targeting for 2026. We're targeting all the municipalities, all of them. We're going to put maximum equal effort in all the 247 municipalities of South Africa. So there won't be a municipality where we're not going to put full force. That applies to Cape Metro. We're going to contest against the Democratic Alliance there in full force. In Overberg, Tiveterskloof, in Grabo, everywhere in Swartland, in Wittenberg, everywhere we're going to go full force to contest. In the entirety of the Eastern Cape, in all the municipalities in Jokabi, we're going to contest in full force to take Walter Sisulu municipalities, saying Elundini, everything. Buffalo City, we're going to go in full force in all the municipalities with the aim of achieving the victory. And what we're going to do successfully is to defend the gains which uMkhonto weSIZWE has already recorded here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. uMkhonto weSIZWE is number one in all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal. We are number one in terms of the number of votes received in the 29th of May. And the number of municipalities where uMkhonto weSIZWE is not number one are very few. It's Big Five Hlabisa, we said in the last press conference, it's Big Five Hlabisa in Mkhanyapude, it's Ulundi in Zululand because of the IFP's historical dominance there. It's Mtonjane in King, it's Greater Kokstad in the Herugwala region, it's Mzumkulu in the Herugwala region. But the rest of the municipalities, uMkhonto weSIZWE is a decisive number one, inclusive of Abatulusi, of Nongoma, of Dumbe, of all the municipalities that are strategic. Then also in Newcastle, uMkhonto weSIZWE is upward of 55%. So those gains are going to be defended much more boldly and without shame, including the ones where uMkhonto weSIZWE is number one in the province of Mpumalanga and Gauteng region. Will defend those gains and get to even bring each and every other municipality into the fold of decisive victory. We are a national organization which is going to spread its wings everywhere. It, of course, was not practically possible to could spread the wings of uMkhonto weSIZWE in less than 6 months of its existence when the 29 May elections took place. Now there is time to spread the wings of uMkhonto weSIZWE, to unite all the progressive forces in all parts of South Africa to achieve a decisive victory. We will definitely be number one after the 2026 local government elections, and we will achieve the envisioned two-thirds majority in 2029 elections. And that victory will be a victory on behalf of the oppressed masses of our people for total emancipation. Thank you very much.
I think that brings to a close the press conference. I want to say thank you very much. See you at the historic first anniversary of uMKHONTO weSIZWE. You don't want to miss it. It is going to be amazing. Thank you and good day. Thanks.